There we go. Had to turn the webcam on. Great to have all of us back, though, here, not just inside our live trading room. Brad, Kathleen, Michael, George, Steve. I see Leda Grant, of course, as always. Great to have all of our members back, though, on social media. Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. Just popping up here. Uh-oh, someone messed with my lower left. One moment here. Got our podcast just earlier. A little change right there. No, actually, that's the wrong name even. Now I'm stuttering over my stuff here. So for all of us back on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Bottom left, down below, at Cyber Trading You. Just had to retype that there. But down below, if you are new to our channel, new to our stream platform alike, just make sure to hit the follow, subscribe button down below. But with that said, no longer get our tongue tied here at this point here this afternoon. So, the market just made a small little bounce. Is this finally the beginning of a good V-shaped reversal? Either way you cut it, we had a great morning. So if you're inside our live trading room, then you know that we took part on a bunch of trades that were moving up nicely before, or still maybe moving up pretty nicely at this point. Like the ASTS trade, up 6%, not like the top percent gainer here, but had the slingshot early in the morning. And really from that point around 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern, that's when we had our focus on this trade. We were focused on other stocks even before this reversal happened early. So this has treated us nicely across the late morning, the early afternoon so far. I have no problem just putting this on our watch list to begin for the afternoon. So I'll do just that. Now, do I have this up on my level 4? I have the other one up, the other space stock. Yeah, not the ASTS. So let's do that here quick. Do a live feed here on ASTS, just the book map, the level 4, as we nickname it. Seeing where those big iceberg orders are. Big support down below, but it's not going to get touched today. I don't think at 48.50, pretty much about 53,000 share bid. I mean, it took a while for it to even make the better move, but it flattened out, dropped a little bit, but then bounced, and then now it's at the highs. So for the afternoon, your next resistance though seems to be right around 51.50, about 24,000 share roughly seller. And that seems to be your larger one for the time being. Your next big resistance, I guess these are kind of similar size, but otherwise, if you're looking 20,000 shares and higher, you have 51.50. Then after that, like $55, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, ASTS is getting close to all-time highs. Yeah, they were doing pretty good for a little while, but pulled back. Now they're getting somewhat close again, right around 53, 50-ish, 54. The other space stock, though, we have done pretty nicely on, more across the early morning. We did call this Rocket Lab out pretty nicely going into like the mid-morning, 10 o'clock, 10:30, but pushed up pretty well from there. So I ended up making some money on this trade. A number of our students did as well inside our chat board. Now for the afternoon, though, this isn't holding as nice near the highs. And if anything, this needs to flip this area of resistance into support. That's where I got stopped out on the last half of my trade. So I got stopped out at 44.90 here at this point as it just dragged back down. But now at this point, yeah, we'll come back to it if we need to. This trade, though, is breaking all-time highs. Was from yesterday, once again here this morning. Really you could focus on your $5 incrementals for this trade. So focused 40, 45, 50, like we said, $45, 45.10 complemented it here today. But after that, I think 50 is even larger. Yeah, look at this. About 502,000 share seller up top here. Psychological level, you would assume. Not just like a $5, but think about $50. It's half of a century. So it's a bit of a psychological price to focus on for a stock like this. So yeah, going into the afternoon right now, we're not going to put this on our list right now, but we'll come back to it tomorrow. Maybe even this afternoon if it decides to pop, but probably we'll come back to this trade just tomorrow morning. Now I'll tell you though, for all of our students inside our live trading room, I did just run through this scanner a moment ago here. I just kind of reran it. So a few of these trades may be popping back up right now. Let's just cover the SBET trade at least first, then we'll go through formally. So SBET was another stock we nailed early on today. This had a nice gap to fill and still has a small part of it left. It's getting close. I'd say from the lows here, otherwise off the close price of that red candle. But either way, it's been doing great as a swing trade. I haven't been focused on this personally as a swing trade. I've just been revisiting it as a day trade each day. So popped up pretty nicely yesterday, a little after 10:30 in the morning, even did this reverse and can't come back down. So it's not always going to like come back up, make that afternoon run like it started to here. It's just that now at this point, it did make a pretty good V shape and bounce earlier, but going into the afternoon, kind of a lower high. It's kind of slumping back down like the Rocket Lab trade. So I'm not going to put this on our list at this point, but hey, if it wants to prove us wrong, I would love for it to. We did it all pretty nicely on that SBET trade. Even if you didn't trade it, today, we've done pretty well on it from the last 2 weeks. So at least we're familiar with it. If it wants to pop back up, I'm sure we'll come back to it. But let's just go right from top to bottom here. A couple other trades that did pretty nicely, at least from earlier, and we'll see if they're still doing good now at this point. CYCC, I just know this stock from experience. It's just a micro float stock, unless if they did like a private placement or common stock offering. I don't think they did. Look at that float. It's like microscopic there. I don't even think that's like the real size. Maybe it's like 500,000 shares. CYCC. Just find out just for fun. 773,000. That's the float that Benzinga Pro here is telling you. So that'll go by. I don't know what this number is even here. Was this 50,000? So that's like kind of too low even. I don't even think that's real. So going into this trade, we just say that we're familiar with it because they've probably done a number of different reverse stock splits in the past. Just going into this move, though, it's been making lower highs for the last several years. And now at this point, listen, it made a nice pump up earlier. It actually broke a higher high just before. I'm not expecting more out of this trade. So I'll come back to it just like last call during this meeting. If it wants to prove us wrong and pop during this meeting as we go through, then let it. But otherwise, just pump and dump type trade. This will probably be back down 45 to 50% later throughout this week. X age here. Now, this is a stock that I'm not familiar with here to begin. So, was this a new IPO or just some stinker over time? Yeah, this thing just broke down over time and not even on good volume. Look at the volume candles here or volume bars. Maybe a couple times we had this on the pre-market list, but very similar to the CYCC. It's just some low float garbage. Made a nice morning move, and this topped off even earlier than 10:30, even earlier than let alone 10 o'clock. So yeah, for the afternoon garbage, we're done. Kappa, same thing. And you could say that on pretty much all of these trades. Most, I would say, of these trades. A couple will kind of still be near the highs. This one, most importantly here, you can just see the big gaps and the halts where it gaps up. Don't get me wrong, that looks good. But you don't want to play musical chairs with this type of stock because the gaps going down on the down halt, they're usually larger. So you got one big gap there, a couple more over time, as you could see, and we're done. GRO, same thing there. Now, name of the game is just make sure the stock's near or at the high. So CRML, I know that Rich had called this one out just before here. Yeah, it's got a great order book. Most importantly, it's like kind of cheap, so that's nice too. But it's near the high, so I'll add this as well to our watch list. You got the ASTS trade to begin. Then you also got this, caramel. You got the Long Island accent in me breaking out. I said coffee earlier. Oh, I caught myself right away. I was like, yeah, geez, lower the Long Island there, Josh. USAR. Now, I saw this get called out just before here, too. It was a great call from one of our students, Russell. Listen, it was at the highs. Just we don't control these trades. It was a good call out at the time, but it's now pulling back. So now we got to make sure that we have resistance look to flip into support. 1516, 1530-ish, just kind of that generalized area. I'll add it to our list. It doesn't hurt. Nice trade. IBG, this has been like a waste of time today. So like if it wants to pop now, then I would like for it to, but it's been slow. It's been choppy. Kind of reminds me just really quickly of the Mara trade, which thank God I got out of here. I took a 4-cent loss just before. I took the breakout here pretty much right at 1930, got out as soon as it dragged back. Listen, I do what I preach here as far as, what we go over in class for Russ, Leda, Grant, Michael, Andrea, Bill, of course. Teaser at the end of this meeting here for all of our students, I'll just say. But otherwise, though, when a stock breaks through a big level, if you're expecting that big move, let it happen pretty quickly. That big move shortly after, this ain't no big move. So you take your small little licking and that's it. Thank God I did. That's probably my trade of the day, even though we nailed a couple of these from earlier, because you save yourself a lot of hassle and a lot of lost money there. So just going back to that last one, what was it, IBG? Things like, what was it? What I say earlier, Ron? It was like tougher than a $5 steak. So yeah, right now, if it wants to pop, let it. But otherwise, I'll pass. MP's been on a tear, but lower highs now. AREC, AREC, not bad. Good order book. You got a bunch of big orders though up top here on the ask. like almost too big resistance, up top for it to work through. Is it possible it goes up to it, like from 137, 138 up to 149, 148, 150? Maybe, but there's no set guarantee behind that. What if those orders ladder down? Just hey, where I always like watch out for stocks that are too volatile. You also want stocks to be worth your time. So I don't even know if that's worth the time. This certainly ain't. Look at this thing, BTCS. This thing just fell off a cliff. It's kind of poking support here for these like little wicks. So same thing. Listen, if it's not going to continue and break higher low, higher high type deal, then this thing's done. What else we got here? See what else we got. SBET, same thing. I feel like there's the whole market kind of dipping here. A small position on SMR, which isn't off to a great start at this point, but market a little rounded top, nothing more to it than that. All right, we'll just keep going through this list here, folks. Listen, there's still a lot of stocks up percentage-wise, so I got to do my homework here, cross my T's, dot my I's, and that's it. SMCI had a great day today. This is the ETF, so nice little push. Not like the biggest or the best, but nice little flip of resistance into support. Allowed for the second win move after. All right, let's see what else we got here, folks, before we go over to the loser side. This RYET trade, I kind of forgot about this from yesterday. This thing fell off like 92%. Had a little squeeze earlier today. So for what it's worth, that's why we had it on our watch list for the afternoon, in case if it were to make a temporary squeeze. But we're done with this trade now. This thing's cooked. OUST, same thing. A lot of these trades just washed up. So it'll be easy for us to sort this out at this point. We already have a couple good trades to work with at least. JOBY, nice move from earlier. Jobby, Archer, those were some nice trades too, more from our side list. So when we were kind of scanning around for the market here, we saw those pop up. We took advantage of them, good for about 30, 40 cents each. QS, you could kind of say the same thing as well. This just failed to make a higher high later on, and that's it. Listen, if the charts aren't going to give it to you, don't fight it, right? Don't have hopium and no strategy. It's always good to have a little hopium, just not too much, and you definitely want to have like 5 times more strategy than hopium when you're taking trades. So, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Baba near the high is a little expensive at least, but having a great day though. It's a nice trade. And VTS, I had some high hopes for this at least earlier today. Just I didn't trade it, but just I was looking for the breakout. Just never got anything on it. And I'll tell you what, I mean, that kind of wraps it up here from the gainers list, at least. Not a whole lot that's looking great. And a lot of these tech-based trades are dropping back down right now. So, that was the APLD stock, AI stock there. Yeah, I mean, the market's pulling back a little bit here. We'll see if it goes lower, but let's hop over to the loser side, seeing if there's anything just as good, if not better from there. Yeah, Mike, we just saw that MP trade just a moment ago. This thing is, as I just said before, to another trade cooked. This thing is destroyed. Yeah, down about 68%, just keeps getting halted, going down, down, down. Listen, maybe there's a chance that this tries to make a move back up, but the momentum is so strong to the downside here, at least over the last hour, that I just don't think that this is worth it just yet. Maybe tomorrow. Come back to this trade tomorrow, maybe. Oh my God, not a lot from the loser side. Listen, we're in a great market here. So you get some of the ETFs that are on here at least, or this, quantum stock, QUBT. Yeah, it's at the lows. Doesn't hurt for us to put that on our watch list. Rigetti, not down as much, but listen, the QUBT, it's hard to borrow actually for myself, but if you're able to get the shares to short this, maybe some news came out on this one, but at the lows, it was just pecking at support here off 1750. 1750 is like a 50-cent level. This is actually also the midway point between $15 and $20, 1750. So, there could even be some option contracts, around that price too, perhaps if they're doing every $2.50. Point being, either way, the more this keeps chipping away at support, this may look to go lower. So could be a good short setup. Circle down a little bit here too. Ooh, woo, this thing got dropped. What happened on this here with Circle? Maybe some news came out of stable coins now. Let's see. Jamie Dimon admits big banks are behind in the stablecoin race. That came out at like 1 o'clock. I don't even know if that's like a vlog or like an actual headline. Something just happened though here at 2:30. So we just saw the market. Market's just kind of slumpy. That's all that there really is to it. Bitcoin's pulling back kind of, a decent amount. Nothing too big though. But it looks like Circle got crushed though. Maybe some extra news came out that we're not familiar with just yet. Listen, it's a more expensive stock, but it does pique my personal curiosity. So I'll add it to our watch list. It'll be at the bottom. But if you want to take a stab at it, focus on it for a potential short, especially if news came out, go for it. If you're bullish on crypto and the stablecoin industry, which everyone's got their own opinion, so respect everyone's opinion. I think that you should be bullish on the stablecoin industry. That's my opinion. But maybe look for a swing bounce on that trade over time, right? Iron too. It's down 4.5%, so not as much, but this is a pretty healthy trade long term wise. So maybe over time it's going to pull back. Maybe it is a good short today. Maybe it builds support over time here. So I don't mind adding the iron, IREN. All right, Lewis, great to have you here on the YouTubes joining us here this afternoon, as well as simulcasting each and every afternoon. I appreciate it there late as always. Last call. Anything else looking good here? Let me know. I'm all for Klimt now. I don't know where my Benzing is right now. There we go. All right. Let's check out the scanners here before we call it a wrap. This I will save for another day, that one, but let's take a look here. PLRZ, Kappa, all these small cap stocks. I don't know. Most of them aren't going to look good. So let's take a look here pretty quick. Just skim the board on them. This one's not terrible. This one, honestly, I could see myself putting this on our watch list now. The PLRZ again. This one, not so much. This one, not so much. And I'll probably keep saying that going forward. Yeah. All right. Maybe BBAI. This is a good swing trade potential. BBAI is good swing trade potential. I'm not going to put this on our watch list, though, for this afternoon. What was the other one? PLRZ? Yeah, we'll add PLRZ at least here. All right, we came prepared this afternoon, Michael and Leda and Bill and all of us here. There you go. Boom, right on time, actually early. Give me a quick sec. I'll post that as well on social media in just a bit. Our watch list, that is, for this afternoon. But I want to make a quick announcement. I made this, kind of a message before in the chat board. I am working on something coming up in the next week, like this week and next week. So don't hold me to having this finished and ready for you by Friday. But, by next week, I have something pretty good coming up for students. If you're at least a phase 1 student, then, I think that there's something that we're going to show you here that's going to be very valuable. We're not adding anything to like strategy. We're not reinventing the wheel here. Don't get me wrong. But I think that's something that's very important towards education. Just took a while for us to try and even take a stab at making and doing. Thankfully, it's one of the blessings of AI nowadays where, AI simplifies the process a lot with copywriting and producing. So, hopefully by next week, we have this out to all of our students. If you're just a phase 1 member or higher, gold, platinum, diamond, actually, sorry, bronze student and higher. So if you're bronze or higher, you should look forward to it. So I'll let you know at least as we finish this up heading into the rest of this week and next, but I think that you'll take good value in it. All right, folks. So, hey, I think that just about wraps it up for us here. So going into the afternoon, you got me on the mic. You also got me on the screen here. So Rich got off this afternoon. He's finally getting his nice car, his nice Tesla. And he's been talking about it for a bit. So finally scooping that up. You got me on the mic and on the screen this afternoon. So looking forward to it, folks. Hey, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., got this right this time, at least here. I'd like to begin the meeting here. Down below at Cyber Trading You, if you're new to our stream, new to our platform, that big old red subscribe button down below, just make sure to hit it. Also hit the little bell or notification icon as well, so you know when we go live, and also when when we're posting videos. Last week, if you are not in the know yet, if you're new here to our channel, definitely make sure to check out our video section, because we just posted our newest video going over the TradingView scanners, going over their screeners, rather, as they call it. Scanners, screeners. I showed you how to build a very simple but effective day trading gainers list from there. So we got some great feedback already on it. But if you're new to our channel, also hit that notification bell so you know when we're coming out with our latest videos. I'm going to come out with another one pretty soon, hopefully by next week as well. Maybe even by this Thursday. Don't hold me to that. But in relation to TradingView and their volume tools, how to use their volume tools to follow the big money, much like you can with level 3 or level 4 otherwise, if you don't have those. But hey, best of luck trading going into the close though for all of us otherwise. And if you're joining us inside our live trading room, like I'd said, give me about like 15 or so minutes. I'll be back on here taking you into the close.